Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to get into the career of Bill Bellamy. We're using a recent CBS News piece as our jumping off point.
Yeah, it's a great subject. Bellamy's had such a varied run, hasn't he?
Totally. And our mission really is to kind of unpack that journey. MTV, the comedy, maybe some surprises along the way.
Definitely. It's interesting to see how someone navigates different parts of the entertainment world over decades.
Right. So that CBS segment had Bellamy looking back on things. What strikes you about him reflecting on his whole iconic career?
Well, what's interesting is how those different gigs, like being an MTV VJ and doing stand-up, they probably feed into each other more than you'd think initially.
How so? Like the skills carry over?
Exactly. Being on MTV, connecting with that huge young audience day in, day out, that must have sharpened his instincts for reading a room,
Huh.
which is, absolutely crucial for a comedian. It's all about that audience connection, really.
Yeah, that makes sense. And MTV. Wow, that was such a moment, wasn't it? For so many of us, that's where we first saw him.
Yeah.
How significant was his role there as a VJ?
Oh, huge. You got to remember, MTV back then was like the center of youth culture. Music, fashion, trends. It all flowed through there.
Right, it dictated everything.
And the VJs, they weren't just announcers, they were personalities. They were kind of like your cool older guides to what was happening. So Bellamy, with his energy and charisma, he was right there at the forefront, shaping that whole scene, reaching millions.
It's kind of wild to think about that level of influence. And speaking of influence, this was something I saw mentioned from the CBS piece, the whole booty call thing.
Ah, yes, that one.
Apparently, he coined it. How did that happen?
Yeah.
That seems so random, but huge.
Well, from what I gather, it seems like it was almost an off-the-cuff remark he made, maybe on HBO's Def Comedy Jam.
Really? Just like that?
Yeah, it just perfectly described a specific kind of late-night call that lots of people recognized but didn't really have a neat term for. And it just clicked. It filled a linguistic gap, I guess. It was catchy, a bit funny, direct.
And boom, it's in the dictionary.
Pretty much. It shows how language can just bubble up from culture, and how one person, even unintentionally, can leave a lasting mark on how we talk.
That's incredible, actually.
Yeah.
So fast forward to now. He's touring again, right? The top billing comedy tour.
Yep. Still out there doing his thing.
How does this current tour connect back to, say, the MTV days or his early stand-up? Is it kind of like coming full circle?
In a way, yeah. Stand-up is maybe his core, right? It's that direct line to the audience we talked about. All those years engaging people, whether through a TV screen or live on stage, it all builds that comedic muscle, that timing, that presence.
So the tour is him leveraging all that experience.
Seems like it. It feels like a natural continuation, bringing everything he's learned back to the stand-up stage. It's where it started, but he's bringing decades of other experiences to it now.
Okay, so wrapping this up, pulling from that CBS News info, we've seen Bellamy as like this MTV cultural figure, an accidental language innovator.
Yeah, the booty call origin is still pretty amazing.
And now a veteran comedian still hitting the road. It's quite the trajectory.
Absolutely. It really highlights how unpredictable influence can be in entertainment, shaping culture in ways you'd never expect.
Right. So here's something for you, the listener, to chew on. Think about other moments like that. What other casual remarks or maybe minor trends in music or TV might have actually had a way bigger, longer-lasting impact than we even realize?
That's a good question. Makes you think.
Definitely something to mull over. Okay, that's our deep dive on Bill Bellamy for today. Thanks for joining us.